Hello, friends and lovelies. We are now back to our vlog thing as we did before. Looks like we're gonna be doing these on Sundays with how my track record's starting to show, but it is whatever. I don't really want to make too much of a time on this one. There's not a whole lot. Actually, I'm gonna take these off so it's not so bad. I know my eyes look like shit, but whatever. Wow, I haven't even gotten that far into this and I already start cussing. Hopefully YouTube doesn't get on me, but we'll see. I'm too little anyway, so I'm not too overly concerned. So let's talk about this. This week has been not bad. In the world of personal magic, I got to share my unboxing of Spider-Man, um, which I did actually last week on Friday, but it was released to you guys on Tuesday. On this upcoming Tuesday will be the unpacking from the Mana Vault. I actually was going to originally do that on my birthday, but my birthday was kind of like just a wild, crazy fun day, so didn't really get near the computer that much. So unfortunately, you guys are going to have to wait till Tuesday. Did I get some good stuff? You're just going to have to wait and see. I'm not really going to spoil too much about that. What else happened? I did get to try out my Chaos deck. It still has a little fine tuning to do, especially about getting everything exactly the way I want it to be. I also got to try out my Miles Morales deck, which was pretty cool. And I also played a little bit with my Shieldred the Apocalypse and realized there's some tweaking I need to do on that one. So I'm going to be working on that here soon. Definitely going to make her a little bit nastier, but in a way that's going to just be more for me to get card manipulation. Um, Besides that, really a good week. It was a good birthday week. Really had a great time. Had a lot of good stuff with friends and everything else. And also, I got to really focus on me time and helping myself get to where I want to be emotionally, mentally, and everything else. Because, like I've mentioned before, mental health is very important and it's been kind of a tricky time. Just like right now with the camera, trying to figure out which side my hair is acting up on so I can fix it. But things happen. It's the beauty of it all. Um, so definitely that's one thing. Personally, everything's been pretty good. Honestly, I can't complain. This has been a decent week. There are some things that were not so good that happened, and I feel bad for the people who I know who are hurting right now. I wish I could do more, but I know right now I'm very limited. I also know that some things I can't do, and that's unfortunate. I also know that our world right now is still a scary place, and that makes me sad, but I'm trying to make sure I keep a positive spin on most things. It's the only way I can do to keep some level of sanity. And I also just am very grateful for the people who are in my life, the friends I've made by playing Magic, my coworkers, all those things. And it really got me thinking about not only the fact that I really love some of the playstyles and decks that my friends have, and also like I'm really loving how I'm learning to build my decks and everything else to the point where I've gotten to where I'm actually going to tear apart another deck. I tore down my Grenko because I don't really want a red goblin deck. I kind of don't like goblin decks. It's cookie cutter. And that's kind of what I'm about to do next. Is I actually am going to be getting rid of my elf deck because almost every elf deck with that it's the same. They're cookie cutter, and I don't like that. Don't get me wrong. I know some of my decks probably have some cookie cutter mentality to it. I mean, Gilgamesh is built to be a Voltron deck, so I'm sure other people have Gilgamesh as a Voltron deck similar to mine. But I didn't look at anything when I built him. I just ran with it, and I think I did a pretty darn good job just running with it blind. But yeah, so anyway, that got me thinking about something. And I think in the future, I know I keep adding more and more stuff to the future because this channel is so baby and so new. There's things that I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know what's going to stick, but that's why I get excited because You never know. Ooh, I didn't know it could snap like that. Sorry, I fidget. That's just part of me, baby. But what I'm going to do, I think we might do this. I think this is one I'm definitely be able to commit to. I want to do something called "What's in Your Deck," either or like "Show Me Your Deck." I haven't figured out what I'm going to call the title of it yet, but I'm going to invite people I play with at the LGSs to sit down in a recording and actually show their favorite decks off, and like not just like, oh well, here it is, blah blah blah, but like actually go through the whole deck list and be like, these are the cards I have in here. This is why. This is where my thought process is. Here's where my logic was for when I built this deck, what my method to my madness was. Did they build the deck all around one specific card, be the commander or not the commander? Did they build the deck off of um, a concept? Like my enchantments deck was not built around the commander. It was actually built around a card to help with the enchantments, thanks to Final Fantasy's bundle set. But there's other people I know who make a deck strictly for a mechanic, like proliferates or toxic or toxin rather or whatever. So I think there's one deck I know that somebody plays that is all about just radiation. And some people do have their tribal deck. One of my friends has Minotaurs, and another one is Dwarves. And those tribal decks work out really well for them. And those would be ones that I would, again, show me your deck. Let me see it, show it to everybody, and let us all see what you made and why you made it. And it's not going to be one of those like, show me so we can judge you or I can judge you, because I'm not going to make it a judgment thing. And I know that that puts a risk of people making judgments on the actual comments. And of course, we'll have to monitor that and keep an eye on that. But also, it's just one of those like, maybe it'll inspire other people to make certain decks, or maybe it'll even be like, just, hey, this is really cool, and this is why I love this. I love having people share their passion. So I think that's one thing that we're going to look into. That's going to probably be more motivationally inspired and be more of something I'm willing to do right away, because I know my time is limited right now. My other careers, my actual 9 to 5s, can really kind of be demanding. And when I'm not working them, I am kind of sometimes tired to where it's hard to do the things I want to do. I'm going to try to find ways to get more re inspired for that. But I think that we're really going to have a lot of fun by sharing stuff like that. That might be a really cool thing to do in this channel. Besides that, the only other thing I really want to talk about, and this is going to be a very short video, I already know it, but I want to talk about the announcements that came from MagicCon Atlanta with the panel. We all know about it at this point because it's all over social media. But I kind of want to give my thoughts on it too, because it's my channel. I might as well share my thoughts, right? And also, not all my thoughts are going to be popular. I can guarantee you that. But we're looking at next year 7 sets. Already, I'm not happy about that. Okay, I don't even like 6 because you only get 2 months to get used to something, and even by then, by the second the set drops on pre-release, they're already posting and publicizing and hyping up the next set. You don't even get a week to enjoy your set. It's like sitting there going and getting a brand new flavor of ice cream, and before you can take the first lick of the ice cream, they're like, "Oh, hey, we have this brand new set coming." Not set. I'm sorry. We have this brand new flavor of ice cream coming out. You have to try it. And you're like, "But I don't even know if I like this flavor ice cream yet." We don't care. We want you to focus on this new flavor coming out. Let us enjoy flavors. Let's enjoy the creativity. You guys put so much hard work on your cards. That's what you keep telling us. But you don't give us the time to enjoy these cards, to enjoy your hard work, to appreciate your hard work. And that's a shame. I really hope Wizards hears this, because I'm not saying it to talk smack. I'm not saying it to be mean, but you put effort into this. This is your job. A lot of you came into this job because you have a passion, thanks to playing Magic, thanks to being part of Magic, or even before Magic D&D and everything else, and you have this passion for fantasy worlds, and you work hard. You work really hard to create things for all of us to enjoy with you, to appreciate that you have done for us to enjoy as a community. But then you don't give us the time to truly show our appreciation, our enjoyment, our gratitude. And now it's became the chase game. And that's really kind of unfortunate. But outside of that, we have 7 sets. 3 of them are in universe, 4 of them are universes beyond. I don't like that, but that's a whole different can of worms. We kind of talked about it before, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. The first set is Lore When Eclipsed, and they showed some really neat preview stuff about it. I can't wait to learn more about it and see more as more things get released because I am excited for this. I really, really am. It looks beautiful. It looks very appealing. I love that there's that whole transformation back and forth. I don't like the fact that once again we have a serialized chase card because I truly believe that that's their biggest mistake. I don't know if I've talked about this one, so I'm going to talk about this real quick. When you make a serialized chase card in your collector boxes, once that first wave of all those collector boxes are sold out, you can't make any more collector boxes because there's no serialized card. You already did all 500 or whatever cards. So you can't make any more collector boxes because you can't guarantee the odds of getting one of those serialized cards because they're already gone. So you kind of shoot yourself in the foot with making a next wave, unless you were to call it collector box wave 2 and like actually put that on the text of like Lore When Eclipse collector booster box wave 2, collector booster pack wave 2, so that way people understand that since it's wave 2 there's no possible chance for the serialized card. That's the only way I see getting away with that. And can they do it? Sure. Will they do that? Probably not. Do I still think the serialized cards are a bad idea? Absolutely. But that's just my opinion. So, take it with what you can. Um, After Lore When Eclipse, we get our first Universes Beyond set, which is not announced. You heard me right. It's not announced. We don't know what it is. We don't know what it could be. We have no idea. There are theories. There's people talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have seen so many other things. Who knows? But after that, we go to Secrets of Strixhaven. This looks like it's going to be interesting. And again, I unfortunately was not around for Strixhaven, just like I wasn't around for Lorwyn. I didn't get to truly enjoy it and embrace it. But I am so excited to see how this goes. Um, I think it's going to be a fun story, a fun adventure. Plus, they also have a novel coming out for it, which is even better. We're getting back into the novel world. That makes me very excited. So I'm kind of looking forward to this one. After Secrets of Strixhaven is the Marvel Superheroes bundle, Universes Beyond. I have mixed feelings on this. I understand what they're trying to do because Marvel is so big. You can't really narrow it down. Like Spider-Man, the only reason I could do Spider-Man like he did is it's so big and stuff with the Spider-Verse. There's so many different variations. Of Spider-Man. You can do that, and unfortunately, you can't deal with all of them. But like, what they should have done, because I know they're supposed to have like a 5 set, right? 5-part set. Make an Avenger set. Make the street gang or street group or whatever you call it, the Heroes for Hire. So that's number 2. That can include Daredevil and Punisher. Okay, I know they're not really Heroes for Hire, but that works. So there's 2 right there out of the 5. So you have Spider-Man, you have those 2. So actually that's 3. Make the next set X-Men because we all want X-Men. I'm not kidding. But then make the other one be, what's it called? I want to say it's Midnight Suns. Midnight Suns. Which I don't know if they will do that because I think that isn't that what oh Jesus. I believe Midnight Suns is what Innistrad was, wasn't it? and that might mess all that up. No, it's Midnight Hunt. Yeah, it was Midnight Hunt. So they can do Marvel's Midnight Suns, and there you have all the stuff. You can make that work. Um, and you mean even if you wanted to do the superheroes things, I see like the way I described it, you could do Fantastic Four. You can squeeze them in somewhere, I'm sure. But that's just it. It's like I feel like just saying Marvel superheroes is so broad and vague. It's kind of hard to get excited about it. I know they're like, pardon me, they're talking about how, oh, we're gonna have Avengers, we're gonna have Agents of Shield. Agents of Shield and Avengers are almost like, you know what I mean? So whatever. Oh, we're gonna have Fantastic Four. We're gonna have the Heroes for Hire. Like so, and they're touching on a little bit of everybody. To where the only name they did not drop right away that I heard didn't hear, the only name I did not hear was X Men. So it tells me right now there is going to be a UB for X Men alone. But then I'm like, okay, well, but if you're being so broad and vague, that's superheroes, Spider Man, X Men. I can't think of what the other two are going to be. And that's why I'm just like, unless they do something like Marvel Zombies, which if they do that, it's only good for zombie decks. It's not going to be as appealing. But see, I don't know. I really don't, and that's why I'm kind of sitting here perplexed because with being so broad, I feel like it does kind of force it into a corner. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I know they have things planned out years in advance, so they know better than I do. Pardon me, I am losing my voice here. That's I'm so sorry. But I'm hoping that they prove me wrong and that things turn out really well. Let's get some water. Hydration, you know. Next set that they're talking about is Another Universes Beyond is The Hobbit. I don't have much of an opinion on this. I wasn't here for the Lord of the Rings hype, but I do want to get it because to me it's still fantasy fiction. It still fits the magic vibe. I'm just not going to be like all crazy goo goo gaga about it. Even with it being like, even if I did make it for the Lord of the Rings set, I don't think I would have been all crazy hyped about it. I probably would have participated. I probably would have enjoyed it, but I don't think I would have gone maddening crazy and over hyped up about it like other people were because I just I don't know. I just never really got that really big hype about Tolkien's stuff. I mean, I love his stuff. His work is great, but I'm not like, oh my god. The only thing that makes me do that when it comes to his work is the fact that he was the foundational inspiration for Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm a big AD&D nerd. Like I love it. I don't want to say I guess I can't say I'm not a big one because I haven't done it in a long time. But back when I would do it, when I was a dungeon master, I was very, very into it. And maybe that's just it for me. It's like, okay. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It may impress me. You know, a lot of times when I've been on the fence about this, especially this past year, and I've been on the fence, I've been pleasantly surprised. And so, you know, that's probably where it's going to go. The only time I've been adamantly against something so far was Aether Drift, and I felt justified in being like, yeah, I'm glad I did not like this set because even though there were some things I did find neat, overall I was very much like Aether Drift got a D if I had to grade it. Whereas like when I was slightly on the fence about um, Edge of Eternities, it surprised me. It got like a C plus B. So there we go. You know, I so I kind of have to think of it that way. That this might surprise me in getting that C plus B area. The next set, I'm excited about that. I know they couldn't say much about it, and they're like the only major thing that makes me excited about this is because the comment he made. I can't remember which person said it, but they were like the boss said, there's no way we can do this. There is no possible way we can pull off this mechanic or make this work, and we found a way to do it. And it's in this set, and the set is Reality Fracture. The only thing I can think about is I have been talking to people a lot recently about how one thing I think they could do to really recycle things and make things work in their favor, because let's face it, all media does this, everybody does this, even in movies, where hey, let's rehash that IP, let's rehash that movie, that franchise. You know, we've seen so many remakes and remakes and remakes of movies coming back now. We've seen remake upon remake upon remake of video games lately coming back now. Um, for example, my one of my favorite Final Fantasy Tactics is getting a remake, and I'm so looking forward to that. But that's just it. Is it's like to say the grouchy old person comment that I know a lot of people say is, man, it's like nobody can have an original idea anymore. We have to just take somebody else's idea and rehash it and remake it. You know, soon we'll have a 2030 version of the Breakfast Club for the new generation to fall in love with a brand new version of the Brat Pack. For those of you who don't know what it is, just go watch it. I'm not trying to age myself. Actually, it came out when I was real little, but just go watch it. It's worth it, even in this time and age. My point still stands. Did I really just do that? Oh, beans. Anyway, my point still stands. Is what I'm trying to get at is what they said with that, how there's no way we can make this work, and we found a way to make it work. I kept telling people what I think they could really do to save magic, to restore magic. And I originally thought they were going to use the planeswalker that controls or messes with time, instead of Jace. But Jace makes sense too. Is I have a feeling that they're going to find a way, story wise, for Jace to go back in time to an early stage of magic. And way back when we first started really having a storyline, having a plot. And he tries to do something to prevent something that just domino effect chain reacts to what we have now, the crazy mess or whatever it is. And when he tries to do this, while it may look like he succeeds, he just opened up a can of worms for something far worse and far greater of an evil than he could have ever imagined. Think of it as like he tries to go back and stop the Brothers' War from even starting, or even before that. And when he does this, what he doesn't realize is that he, in the long chain of events, stops them from even having the possibility of destroying the Phyrexians, of eliminating the slivers, of having ways to seal away and destroy the Eldrazi from this plane, while having Emrakul disappear to the moon of Innistrad. I mean, maybe he does something that really messes up the whole domino effect of it, and then that's what causes even Eldrazi to be like, not Eldrazi, I'm sorry, Emrakul to be like, now Innistrad's ready for me. I can come back from the moon and wreak havoc. Who knows? Jace has been a really messed up boy, and I don't put anything past him. And I've noticed the more he tries to dip his toe in doing things, especially the more he tries to do things right, and like even with the best of intentions, he's the one who kind of is a bull in a china shop sometimes, even though most of the time in reality bulls in china shops are not as dangerous as the stereotype says. But you get my point. So my theory is that Reality Fracture is going to not only split Jace into two because of the word fracture, so we might have a whole two personality type thing, two Jaces, a good Jace, a bad Jace. But as they're doing this, They're going to mess with the balance of the time space continuum, and we're going to have a whole rehash, a reboot, if you will. And it's going to make things very messy, very fast. And for those of us who missed out on those moments, those stories, we get a chance to experience them fresh while everybody else gets to relive them. But now you get to see a whole different scenario. And it's kind of like when Marvel Comics had their What If series. You know, they did like the whole what if Gwen Stacy had not died from Spider Man trying to save her. They did, what if, Sabretooth got the adamantium claws instead of Wolverine, things like that. And this is going to be the thing of what if they did not succeed against getting rid of Atraxa or, something like that. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. So I'm kind of excited to see how this goes. Reality Fracture is one that's really got my attention above everything else right now. But then we have our last set. And I am sorry. I'm trying to be optimistic. I want to be optimistic on a lot of these things. Our last set is Universes Beyond Star Trek. I'm not a Trekkie. I don't think I could ever be a Trekkie. I'm willing to give it a fair chance. Okay, let me put it that way. I'm willing to give Star Trek a fair chance one day. But anytime I have ever even gotten a glimpse of it, it doesn't do it for me. I don't like space travel, space galactics, whatever have you, episodic series. The only exception to that has ever been Doctor Who, and that's been because 9 times out of 10, it has something to do with Earth, and it also is just quirky humor tied to the action. It balances itself out so you don't have to take it overly serious. Whereas Star Trek, it feels like it's a serious episodic thing, no matter which version of Star Trek you're talking about. And it's the same reason why I don't get into Star Wars too much. I know my Star Wars. I've seen every movie of the mainline series. And honestly, I feel Star Wars would be more suited for magic because the whole force is like magic. Its force is like something, planeswalkers could do. But even then, I would not like it here. Um, it just doesn't fit. Star Wars wouldn't fit. Star Trek doesn't fit. I really have no interest currently in Star Trek. Could it turn around and surprise me? Absolutely, it could. Do I expect it to happen? Absolutely, I do not. But that's at the end of the year. We will see how it goes. We'll see how things play out. Maybe I will learn a bit more about Star Trek and become a Trekkie after all. Don't hold your breath. Um, but who knows? That's all I can say. I know about this much about Star Trek, and that's just some of the people from the next generation because that was what was on late night TV when I was a kid. And I knew what they looked like. I know some of their names. What do they do? I don't know. I know Picard was the captain. He also played Professor X in the X-Men movies. I know his second in command was William Riker, who was also the guy who did like a lot of those mystery mystery TV shows. He was also the voice of David Xanatos in Gargoyles. Gargoyles would be so fun to have in Magic. Let's not joke about it. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. um, I know Data was a robot that for a long time didn't have emotion. Now, then he did. The guy who had the visor was Geordie LaForge. He was also the person for Reading Rainbow. There was the um, um, Klingon guy, Worf. There was the kid who was on the ship who actually was done by Will Wheaton, who has done a lot of interesting things that I've been entertained with. And that's all I know. Oh, I know there's Borg, which are the cyborg robot people who assimilate and take things over. That's it. I know there's some weird razor sharp teeth creatures with the big old honking ears. That's how I know it's Star Trek. And honestly, none of that right there alone sounds fascinating to me. It doesn't make me want to invest in it. And it's one of those, like, for me, it's kind of like also how like Stargate is. I could take it or leave it. The closest thing to even Stargate that I ever liked was Sliders. And even then, I liked the premise of Sliders because to me it's almost like how I like the premise of Doctor Who. But unlike Doctor Who, premise for Sliders was take it or leave it as well. It just didn't gel with me. So overall, if we don't count Star Trek, because Star Trek right now has no expectation on it, because I have no invested interest, we have good expectation for Lorwyn. Who knows with the unknowns? UB. Good expectation for Strixhaven because I've heard a lot of good for both of those things. Marvel, we'll see how it goes. Hobbit, we'll see how it goes. Reality Fracture, really up there because my theories and hypes. And then, like I said, Star Trek, we're not even gonna worry about because I don't. I feel bad because I know there's so many people who are huge Star Trek fans, but nobody has ever been able to convince me to see what there is as so beautiful or so cool or great or fascinating about Star Trek and make me want to invest in it and give it a fair shake. And I don't want somebody to just lore dump on me because then it's overstimulating. That's going to pull me away from it. But I've never gotten something worthwhile to make me go, yeah, you know what? Let's give it a shot. At least with when it came to Game of Thrones, my boss, my pharmacy manager, she was like, hey, you like fantasy fiction, you like medieval lore fantasy, and you like that type of dynamic and not, Lord of the Rings, you like that stuff, you like Dungeons and Dragons, you like medieval fantasy, give this a shot. It's a little bit more mature, but give it a shot. And I was like, yeah, sure, okay. And I told her, I said, I'm willing to give it a shot. However, everybody else needs to stop talking about because all I ever hear is Jon Snow, Jon Snow, Jon Snow. And she made sure people shut up about Jon Snow for at least almost a month, just so I wouldn't hear the name anymore. So I would be able to be willing to give it a chance without being like, oh my God, I hate the name. And so it worked. And like, I did like it. There were parts that I thought were dumb. There were parts I thought that were phenomenal. There were parts that I predicted. There's parts that shocked the hell out of me. And there's even one specific part that I remember going to my boss after I watched it and I was like, you suck. And she's like, what? I was like, you warned me about the red wedding. She's like, yeah, and it was bad, right? I said, I was ready for that. I fully anticipated I could see it coming a mile away. But there was a part after that with a battle where somebody's eyeballs got hurt and damaged horribly, and I'm squeamish with eyes, and that made me almost lose my lunch. And after I started explaining to her, she's like, oh my God, I forgot all about this scene. I'm so sorry. I'm like, yeah, you are sorry because that sucked. But like, that was willing to she gave me enough premise to give it a shot without being too over the top nerdy with it to where I was like, oh, just shut up already. And I feel like that's a problem with the diehard Trekkie fans and the diehard Star Wars fans. You tell them to give me something, just a little teaser of why this would be worth trying to give it a chance, why this would be worth my time to see if I could do it. And instead of giving you that little 30-second blurb or whatever of why they think you should give it a chance, they just go on and on and on. And then I'm like, okay, it's too much. And it's too much lore for my brain right now because honestly, with everything else going on in my life, I can't soak up too much more lore. I'm trying to soak up all the magic lore for crying out loud. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. At least with Doctor Who, I was warned, hey, yeah, it's lore heavy, but all you need to remember is wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, and then they had giggle behind it. And I'm like, okay, that sounds goofy and adorable. So I watched the first episode and it got me giggling with how Christopher Eccleston was, and I was like, okay, I'm sold. So I don't know. Um, I feel like honestly, with the Star Trek universes beyond, and then maybe this is just maybe because, like I said, where my opinion is on it. And I'm almost feeling like this might be how I feel about the unknown one. If it is what I think it is, like the Ninja Turtles, it would be better not to be an actual full set as much as it would be to do like, here's your Commander Precon, and then here's the collector packs. Leave it at that. You know, I don't see how it can merit all that time, but we'll see. But I went on about that a lot longer than I wanted to, such as life. Tell me what you guys think. Give me what you guys think about this. I kind of want to know. I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say. Um, what are you excited about and why? You know, share it with me. I'm all ears. But until then, you guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day. May your upcoming week be phenomenal. And whatever you do, don't forget to ask yourself, did you pay the one? Take care, everybody.